Hi everyone, I'm Theocharis, or Theo, and I'm going to start by saying that back in school, I was not a good student. That's me. There are many reasons, like I had some health issues, my parents had some health issues, but above all else, I could not understand the point of classes. Why would someone study to get a good grade? Arguments about education is good for you don't really work for teenagers. But I was also very, very lucky because I had a professor, a chemistry professor, called Mr. Kalambokis. What he did is he instituted a club called STEM Weekends. The idea was that he would bring people from the STEM field, anywhere, like criminology, astronomy, whatever, and they would talk about what they were working on. And at those workshops and talks, something in my life changed because while I could not really understand how they were doing what they were doing, I saw why they were doing it. And it was so obvious that while they were talking about what they did, it was as if they had a blazing fire in front of them that mesmerized them. They could not look at anything else apart from that fire. And you can see the sparks in their eyes. They were so passionate, and so passionate was my professor himself. And at that point, I understood that knowledge and classes were never planned to have a purpose. The idea was, and at least for me, the idea was that they would give you the matchsticks to light your own fire one day. So after that, I went to high school and things went a bit better. I got into astronomy. I was part of the Olympic team for Greece. And when I got a bit older, I got into civil engineering school here in Thessaloniki. Second year in, I went back to work with Mr. Kalambokis. At first, I was giving the tutoring of the astronomy club. That's where this photo was taken. But the biggest part of my work was helping the people delivering the talks at the STEM weekends do that in a better way. I was the guy carrying around small model wind generators or hydrogen cars or kitchen wire, which if you burn it and pour the ashes into any kind of oil, like olive oil, you can make a ferromagnetic fluid. Isn't that amazing? One moment from that time sticks more with me than others. One day I went back to class during the break and I found a student smoking. Now, as you all know, that's a big no-no, but something very, very weird was happening. So hear me out. Back of the room, we have a fan blowing air into a wind generator, small wind generator that lights up a small light bulb. And this student would inhale, go in front of the fan, exhale, and create an impromptu wind tunnel. The reason it stuck with me, we talked, first of all, with the student about laminar flows and turbulent flows, things that I learned in school like that year. And the reason it stuck with me is not just because I saw a small part of my younger self in him, but because it was really amazing to see how, if you're curious enough, things can click in the weirdest of places. 2 years later, I quit. I quit not because the work wasn't fulfilling and hard and interesting, but because I could not get one thing out of my head. I wanted one day to be the guy that walks in the room, talks about the amazing things that he does, and somewhere in the back of the room, you could hear maybe a small click. So I quit. And while in school, I was fascinated by transportation systems, the way that we can model the way that people move, that goods move. And just if we play our cards right, we can make all this pollution and like noise and stress kind of go away. And that's how our company, Rhoé, started. We are making mobility sustainable, green, and accessible to everyone. And we're doing that by building software, by building products that make sustainable mobility make business sense. We're active in two areas. And the first one is, urban mobility. In particular, e-mobility. So electric cars have batteries. Batteries need charging. Charging stations and charging station networks are very easy to plan wrong and very hard to fix if you do that not in the best way. So we build a product that does a simple thing. It finds the perfect place, the perfect pricing policy, and the perfect time to install a charging station or a charging station network. We do that by being able to predict who is going to buy an electric car and when, how they're going to use it, and then fitting their needs perfectly. This product is currently active in 40 different cities across Greece. But we have another product as well. And I'm laughing because it started as many good ideas that do, over a conversation with beers after work. We were wondering, why don't we have more electric ships, right? The problems they face are essentially the same as electric cars. So batteries are expensive, charging them is slow. For ships, it's the same problems, just orders of magnitude larger. So batteries are super expensive, charging them is super slow, and if you try to do it quickly, you may explode. So what if we tried something that doesn't work in cars, works in scooters, small motorbikes? We brought a technology from that space into 100 of feet long ships. What if we made a battery swapping network for ships? Now you'll tell me this is one of the ideas where you go like, oh, that's very interesting, but, and then you talk for like 15 minutes about how this is not going to work. And the summary of that is you need ships, you need ports, you need batteries, you need classification societies, and you need a lot of money. But the idea stuck to our heads. So after searching far and wide, we decided to go for a European research grant. We will need people to apply for this grant. But what we did is we hand-typed 1,049 emails. That's the amount of companies that have ever been involved in a European maritime research project. We emailed every one of them, and some of them answered. Today, we're building the Energy-as-a-Service platform. It's the first battery swapping network for electric ships. We've partnered with the best of the best across Europe, and we expect to have our first ships in early 2023 in the port of Rotterdam. Over the time, we've been very happy to talk about our work to a lot of people, to have been awarded for it, and to be in rooms where the people speak the same language as us. Back in quarterfinals, it was 11 of us. Now it's 12 of us in a colorful office in downtown Thessaloniki, Greece. And financially, things are going quite well as well. We expect to open offices in Northern Europe by late 2023 to meet our maritime market. And we're investing in hiring more people and building our business. Some months ago, Mr. Kalabokis called me. He told me that he retired, he was exhausted, and he felt that he couldn't give 100%. By the end of our conversation, he told me that one of the things he regretted was not being able to invite me to one of the STEM weekends to talk about the amazing things that we do at Rhoé. He said he hoped he can do it in the future, and so do I. Closing off, I want to thank each and every one of you, not for listening to me, but for being part of an organization that's about the others and not yourself. That's about helping people. The way I look at EO is the way I look at the people at my high school classes that came to talk to us. People that built their own fires, and you can see the sparks in their eyes. I may not be a member of this constellation of eyes just yet, but I really hope I can be a member very soon. Thank you very much.